JSL Prime League.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our second match in Group F. This is the triple Protoss group. I guess only dual Protoss group now, but we are into what is effectively the winner's match, and potentially will be one of the deciding matches of this series. This man in the bottom right-hand corner already has one win under his belt. Can he make this a second? This is...
Dead Pixels, Patience.
And on the other side of things, he is the red Protoss player, currently living in North America, but is Korean. Was once a champion. Can he repeat history? Give it up for...
StarDust.
These guys, surprisingly, do understand the idea of building two pylons in your main base.
Oh, yeah.
Not all Protosses quite understand the idea of, hey, the first couple of pylons should probably go in your base.
Oh, yeah. I mean, honestly, the other Protoss player that would have been in this group is definitely someone who hasn't learned that yet. And, I mean, maybe... ignorance is bliss, because it seems to be working out for him quite a bit as he's won a lot of tournaments with that kind of style.
That is very true. There has got to be some sort of merit to, you know, those pylons outside of your base.
Mm-hmm. Maybe these two players don't know how to play Protoss, and that's why, you know, they're not quite on, say, Parting's level.
Too many pylons inside
too much power, yeah.
Too many. You don't need that many. You need.
What, are you trying to power your Nexus or something? Like, come on.
Seriously, what is this? Thus far, as we've mentioned a couple of times, Patience, the up-and-comer, you could say. He's on technically a foreign team, as Dead Pixels isn't quite a KESPA organization. But I mean, they pretty much are. They pretty much have just like Koreans who are quite good, not necessarily the, you know, big GSL champs, but Patience, he's done relatively well recently. Top 4 DreamHack Valencia, that was mid-July, about a month ago. He beat Gumiho 2-1 and Fantasy 3-2, and then lost to Curious 3-2. So,
yeah. Always making it close, it looks like, you know? Whether he wins it or whether he loses it, gives it good games.
Coming close, StarDust, as we mentioned, he's the Fallen Champion. He has a WCS EU title under his belt. From those of you that remember Season 2 last year, he has a DreamHack from 2013 under his belt. And Patience, well, he might be sticking some DTs inside the main base of StarDust.
Yes, you know, he delayed the Dark Shrine for a little bit. Oh, that Mothership Core is really close to going down, but... yeah, he put down the Twilight Council around the same time, and, oh, this Mothership Core, though, that's 2 Stalkers shooting it. Oh, my God. Did it see the, Dark Shrine, though? It
No.
Uh-oh.
Nope. The thing that, I mean, everyone knows you gotta scout Protoss. You have to scout Protoss a lot to really know what they're doing, to know exactly what vein they're going to be pursuing. And in PvP, where so many builds are possible, where so many builds work, there's so many opportunities, and one of them is, of course, you know, like, oh man, gotta go for that Twilight Council, gotta go for those DTs.
Yeah, I mean, and it's gonna probably work out for him. He already has a pylon on a good part of the map. That's gonna be really hard to scout without the Mothership Core, and if he gets into the base of StarDust, there's not gonna be anything here at all. You know, StarDust is gonna be going for a big blink attack, so while he might take a little bit, or he do a little bit of damage to Patience, it's going to take forever for him to get out that Robo and then get out the Observer, especially because of how hard he's committing to this blink attack.
Yep. Lots of opportunities for this single Dark Templar to do some damage.
It only takes one, Cybert. It
does only take one. Sometimes you get lucky if you're opening up like Stargate, then maybe you've got the Oracle, but GG.
G to the G. Patience on a hot streak. Gonna go take game number 1 and You nailed it on the head there. You know, just saying, sometimes in PvP there's these build order losses and counters, and that's exactly what happened right there.
Ladies and gentlemen, if your house is burning down, then Patience is the man that's going to let you see the entire Group F of ASL tonight and escape out of your burning house. If this guy was on the road, he would be arrested by every cop in the state. In fact, I think he may have just won the Olympics next year. That's how fast one of these players is going in these games. He's in the bottom right-hand corner. He is...
Dead Pixels, Patience.
Quite contrary to that name, right? Like, geez.
That's, yeah.
In the top left corner, he's looking to add one to the board. Not quite facing elimination yet, but he is the Red Protoss player from Korea, but living in NA.
StarDust.
Iron Fortress, as you mentioned, kind of a different map choice. I guess this is the best shot we've got at a macro game, but maybe because it's 4 players, maybe because it's got 4 spawn locations, maybe this is a map where StarDust says, no, yeah, you don't get a macro game. We're going to end this right here, right now.
Yep. Well, this could be the case, you know. A second pylon goes down before the second gas here. From StarDust. And, I mean, the only thing that I can ever think of when it does come to one gas in PvP is straight up 4-gate, you know? If you're not going to go and get a gas block in the beginning of the game, it's like, what is he planning to do right now? This is saving up Chrono Boost a bit. Like, I'm thinking we might see it, using that 4-player map to his advantage. Most people don't send out that scout that early.
This is certainly one of those situations that could be changing a super ton in the future. I know Blizz has been talking about, like, if a pylon is attached to a gateway, then it has like a 4-second warp in, and if it's not attached to a gateway, then it's got a 16-second warp in.
Oh, yeah.
But right now, you get no defender's advantage warp gate, which is really the tech and the opportunity, the upgrade that gas is, you know, even being taken for, aside from the stalkers. But that's like the thing that StarDust wants. He's like, no, I only need 1 upgrade. Oh, Patience. Oh, Patience.
Unfortunately for Patience, he's going to actually get the last scout. But StarDust is adding another gas. Keep in mind here, it is going to be a 3-gate, so a delayed gas in order to get a few more stalkers out, but, you know, still build up that mineral bank in order for you to make the sheer amount of units that you will need. But Patience is going for a Dark Shrine once again. Yeah. Whoa. This is like not going to be too good for StarDust if he doesn't see it immediately. And I don't think he is, man. Because look at the way that the tech is actually made. It's a very interesting position.
Very weird. Twilight Council on the low ground, and then a couple of gateways, and a Dark Shrine kind of up in a corner. StarDust starting to make his way up the ramp, and Patience immediately knows that he is in a lot of trouble. 3 stalkers versus 1, and there's not a whole lot right here on the defensive end for Patience.
Nope, and no Mothership Core. You can't buy any time here. There's only 1 pylon powering, well, luckily he did separate it, so one of the gateways are going to go down, and once again, it only takes 1 DT, and it is on its way. Oh no, does StarDust even have a robo on the way? I don't think so, but there's going to be a lot of damage done here from both players.
What a weird base trade this could totally start into, but now there's a
defensive DT.
He's got the offensive and the defensive. StarDust has got to do something crazy.
Yes, indeed it does. He's going to put down that robo, and I think he should proxy it as well. Yeah, he is going to proxy it. So he could potentially get out that observer. But he's lost so much. Well, Patience has lost so much. He's done a lot of damage here, and so this actually could work out here for Patience, surprisingly. Even though there's a DT slicing away at his probes and his main.
Patience definitely dropping the ball at least a little bit here. Just now his DT, which was sitting idle for a little while, is getting back to work. He's chased pretty much all of the probes away from the main base of StarDust. This is just the saddest income tab that you could pretty much have in a 7-minute game thus far.
Yeah.
Stalker's gonna start to be focused down by that DT once again, but as you mentioned, the proxy, robo, and the observer will make this very easy for StarDust to deal with.
Yeah, and there it goes. That might call the GG from Patience, and StarDust takes a game off of Patience.
Gentlemen, this has been a quick and dirty series. This has been a quick and dirty game, and it doesn't look like it's getting any cleaner. It doesn't look like we're going to be having a less explosive game number 3. But this is game number 3. This series is tied 1-1 in this now round-robin ASL Group F Prime. You probably know that because you've probably been watching more than just this one game. We have in the top left-hand corner the pink Protoss player. This is
Dead Pixels, Patience.
Oh man, and the cheeks of this player, unbelievable. It is going to be the red Protoss player in the bottom right, but not quite.
StarDust.
full surround on the pylon to start things off. If he can shut down the power of this gateway, that is very important. I'd say that's reasonably important.
This is like the most cheeky play you can ever make in this game. I mean, this is like proxy hatching in ZVZ right next to your Zerg. Like, you know what I mean? Just saying like, hey, what's up? You don't have to do this, but might as well, because why not? And it is not gonna work out for StarDust here. He is in a lot of trouble.
I would have said, you know, like, okay, maybe StarDust could have hidden that gateway a little bit better, but Patience scouted, so it's like if you walk across the map with your probe and you're like, oh, you're totally missing a pylon. It doesn't take a lot of brain power to figure out exactly what went wrong. Patience is, for all intents and purposes, a world-class Protoss player, so he would know what's going on. He probably is familiar with StarDust, so this is a weird series, and it is not ending in a less weird way.
No. And StarDust went across the map with another probe. I thought he was going to be a little bit sneaky and then put down that pylon anyway and just be like, all right, I got you. You got the pylon, but I'm going to repower it. But now, StarDust has nothing at home. I mean, oh, the mothership core, though.
Just in time.
Ah, yeah. You don't need a gateway for that.
Zealot is going to be walking up this ramp. And of course, he's going to start trying to feast on some probes, but with that mothership core doing constant DPS from the skies, it's going to be difficult for Patience to get anything done. Yeah.
You know, that was actually really nice. I totally didn't even... I don't know why that really slipped my mind. Does he think... I was wondering if Patience thought that it was going to be... I'm trying to think like where he wants to go, because now StarDust, despite the fact that he didn't have a gateway powered, I mean, he didn't want to make anything from it just yet anyway, it seems like, as he did get his mothership core out, and he already has a Twilight Council nearly complete. So, it's actually going to work out for him, and he didn't even lose that many probes. I don't even know if he lost any. He hasn't lost a probe yet.
Reasonable recovery. For players who have good crisis management, these sorts of situations aren't as bad as they could be. But when you go for that, like, ultra-aggressive proxy gateway, if you don't know exactly how to follow it up, if you're not super practiced with, like, oh, what do I do when it gets depowered and my aggression that I wanted to go for is completely shut down? How do I, quote-unquote, transition? That's very important to know. For these highly aggressive, cheesy players, they need to know what are the weird ways to move out of this opening.
Indeed, and I guess StarDust seems to know what he was doing. I mean, I highly doubt you put down a gateway on the bottom of somebody's ramp and just say, I really hope he just doesn't scout, because I have no idea what I'm going to do if he decides to, you know? So, there was a bit of mining time lost, I would say, and he's able to get his blink up really fast, but unfortunately for him, Patience is going to be going into the Robotech, and they just both kind of step back and decide to go and expand. So a more defensive play out of Patience, and it looks like a very aggressive play out of StarDust, but he drops down a Nexus as well. Wow. This is some cool PvP, man. This is definitely above the level of, you know, my analysis level, where it came to at least being like, no, this is exactly what's going on, but I'm impressed.
I am certainly just looking for what these players are going to be doing, what their plans are, and anytime you see an expansion in PvP, you always kind of have to wonder if this is like that whole, for me, what always sticks out for like the fake expansion is sometimes when Protoss like take a third against a Zerg and they're like,
oh, true.
LOL, just kidding, and then they 2-base all in. Like the third is just to fake them out. And so then it's like, all right, in PvP, maybe he's just going for like, oh, this is my fake natural. Like, no, I totally am going expand. And then they just go for some super aggression.
Yeah.
I don't know, though.
No, StarDust is playing this in a way where he's not putting all of his eggs into one basket either. By putting down that expansion, he at least has the opportunity to pressure with Blink. And, I mean, if he had come to this natural, saw 2 Immortals, you know, a Nexus that can be, I would say, Photon Overcharged, and he has this many Stalkers, you can go all in with it and try. And he's actually going to run by. This is very risky to do, I would say, with 2 Immortals there, but he is going to do it anyway. I don't know about that, but let's see how it works out for him. Definitely a bold move, Cotton. Holy moly. Gets away.
Steps down onto the low ground. The majority of his Stalkers still alive. StarDust has lost 3. He continues to warp in at that proxy pylon. He continues to put the aggression on, and it's up to Patience to keep an eye on exactly what StarDust is doing, because Immortals, yeah, they're good against Stalkers, but if they get jumped on, then suddenly your Immortal advantage can be gone. This is a lot of dead Stalkers. GG. Patience will advance out of Group F in first place.
Thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe to support the ASL by hitting the button now.